right, Dustin is back, and he's got Paris, who's a senior Chihuahua, who's ready to be adopted. And we are so lucky to have Dr. Lucas Candifer, a local vet, who's going to be addressing what food is best, because there's a lot of choices out there.
Too many.
Too many, that's true. Dustin, let's get to Paris.
Alrighty.
He's a male senior, right?
Yes. He unfortunately ended up at the shelter with his two housemates when his owner died unexpectedly.
Aww.
So one of them has been adopted, so he's still there. He's got his buddy Emma, who's also a senior beagle mix there. They don't have to be adopted together, but he does fall under the senior program where his adoption is going to be a greatly reduced fee. You wouldn't realize that he's 10. He is very active, playful, energetic, fun-loving, seems to be housebroken, loves to go for walks. So he's got a lot of spunk left in him. But he does calm down nicely. He rides great in cars.
Looks like he's the right weight too, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So he's been very well taken care of.
So he was loved. He just unfortunately sometimes life does not play by all the rules, and he ended up at the shelter.
But Dustin, if you can adopt both, it would be really nice.
It would be nice, but yeah.
You know, what he thinks is a brother or a sister at this point.
His sister, yeah.
You know.
And there's a big difference between keeping up with a 4-month-old puppy and keeping up with a 10-year-old dog. You know, all the hassle and all the work of you know, the training and things like that already done for a dog like this.
He's a very well-mannered dog, very friendly, easygoing. So he'll make someone a great pet. And he's got the Chihuahuas can live 15, 16, 17 years. So he's still got plenty of life left in those bones. So
this is Paris, everybody. Right now, currently living at the Buffalo Animal Shelter. Before you can make him your new best friend. Good luck. Good luck, Paris. I know you're going to do well. Let's talk about the food. There's a lot of misinformation about pet food.
And that, you know, the problem is that you can find any answer you want on the internet, whether it's true or not, is part of the problem. And you know, when it comes down to it, when people come into my clinic and say, this is what we're feeding, if your dog or cat is doing great on that food, I don't care if it's Old Roy or Kibbles and Bits or whatever the food is. If your dog is doing well on it, your cat's doing well on it, then that's probably the right food for them.
Right.
If we get older and we start to develop different problems, we start to see that they're having kidney issues or liver issues or things like that, then there are much more specific foods we can recommend. But when we have people come in and their dog is having skin issues, their dog is gassy or has loose stool on a regular basis or occasionally vomits, there's no question that's not the right food for them. You know, there's a lot of different options. There's over 500 different pet food brands out there. So when it comes down to trying to find one and going into the shop and saying, you're overwhelmed, it's very easy to say, I don't know what the right choice is. So speak to your veterinarian. They're there to go ahead and help guide you in a direction and helping you choose the right protein source, picking to make sure when you've got a young dog that they're on a puppy food is so critically important. A lot of the times we're seeing a lot more boutique foods, which some of them can be great, but there is a lot more risk for not having the mineral and vitamin content proper in those foods, and especially when they're new, they may not, even though they have the right things in them, if they're not digestible, it's not the right source. And we've seen a number of cats that end up with a lot of problems, even just in a short period of time, if they're on the improper food that's not balanced the right way.
And you know, right now, if you're watching commercials, sometimes it makes it seem like something with a grain is a terrible thing, and that's not really necessarily true.
And unfortunately, there's so little science behind that, but it's become so prevalent in advertising and online that, you know, what typically happens is your allergies are mostly related to protein sources. So when people say, I was on a grain diet and I went to a grain-free diet, what typically happens is you want a beef-based diet, you switch to a chicken-based diet and it didn't have grains in it, and we always, then you have your proof. You say it must have been the grains, and which is fine. And there are grain-sensitive dogs. The dog's sensitive just about anything.
I was actually at my pet store over last week picking up dog food, and I saw a vegan dog food, and I just had to think that can't be the right choice.
That's so interesting.
Dogs can live off without having meat sources, but cats are obligate carnivores. There's no way that you can feed a cat anything but they have to have a meat-based food
But you wouldn't
source.
recommend it for a dog, would you?
No, not necessarily. Again, whether if it's brand new, we don't know what their testing is. Most of them, they have an AAFCO statement on them. Make sure they have that, and you know that your food is at least balanced for your dog or cat.
Ask your vet. That's always just the great way to go. And Paris is waiting for you over at the Buffalo Animal Shelter. We want to thank these gentlemen and the Niagara Veterinary Society for supplying us with top-notch local vets like Dr. Candifer. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Check out Pickler and Ben at 3 o'clock. And also, Right This Minute is coming up next.